In this video, I'm going to show you spot right automation in Reaper. I have a project in front of me here with a vocal and some backup tracks. Let's see what it sounds like now.
I remember her in songs, decades old, but it doesn't matter. I stumble across some memories, try to recall before they all shatter.
So I want to write automation for this vocal to make it fit in the mix. And I want to try out this new workflow known as spot right automation, which means choosing spots or sections to work on and just automating those spots, and then punching out or punching in before and after. But before we get started, I want to show you two things. If we go to our preferences, Control P on the PC, Command comma on the Mac, and we scroll down under Editing Behavior to Automation, I want to change this setting. When recording automation and stopped, it defaults to add an additional point before the edit position. For spot right automation, it's more helpful to change it to adding points before and after the edit position. This way we don't get ramping before or after we punch in the automation. Hit OK. And I also want to turn off the repeat or looping feature, as when we create some time selections like this, we don't want them to loop.
Decades old, but it doesn't matter.
So you can write automation to that time selection, and it's not going to loop, and it's just going to write automation to that time selection. And I also created a toolbar for automation right over here, which has the different automation modes that we could switch by selecting our track and just hitting the automation mode. Trim, read, preview, latch, touch, and write. And I also put another button over here, which is like hitting the escape key, as it'll clear any time selection we create. So if I put one right here and I'm done, hit this button, and it clears that time selection. So let's start by typing V, which shows a volume automation down here. And I'm going to move it to the media lane to make it easier to see within the waveform. And I've already set up my basic level in trim mode. So I'm going to write any changes that I want. Let's start with the first phrase.
I remember her in songs.
And let's start with this breath. I want to bring it up so the vocal sounds more breathy. So I'm going to create a time selection just for the breath and bring it up. And notice it creates points right over here. If we hit play, it writes that new automation level. And we can hit read and clear the time selection to hear it back.
I remember her in songs.
Let's say this line right here is a bit too loud. Again, we'll create a time selection, put it into write mode, and bring it down. We can clear it, put it back into read mode, and then hear it in context.
I remember her in songs.
I think this is a bit too loud. Do the same thing over here. Hit right, bring the fader down a bit. Hit read, clear the time selection, and let's hear the whole phrase back.
I remember her in songs.
Then we'll move on to the second phrase. Again, I want that breath to be louder so the vocal sounds more breathy. Bring it up. Switch it to read mode and clear it.
Decades old, but
the D sounds too loud. We'll select it, go to write mode, bring it down. Read, clear it.
Decades old, but it doesn't matter. Decades old, but it
This line is also too loud.
decade, decade,
Read, clear it.
decades old, but it doesn't matter.
Let's bring this line down a bit as well.
But it
Clear it.
old, but it doesn't matter.
Then this line trails off. Let's bring it up a bit. Notice it writes every time we hit play. So we can go up or a bit down. And it only writes to that time selection. Go to read and clear it.
Oh, but it doesn't matter.
Again with the breath. Bring it up. Clear it.
Stumble across some memory.
This could be a bit lower. Clear it.
Stumble across some memory.
This line is a bit too loud.
Memory.
Go to read, clear it.
Across some memories.
This line is also a bit too loud.
Rees.
Go to read and clear it.
Stumble across some memories. Try to
Again with the breath. We'll bring it up.
try to recall before they all shatter.
Let's hear it back from the beginning. And notice all the changes we're going to see on this fader because we're in read mode.
I remember her in songs, decades old, but it doesn't matter. Stumble across some memories, try to recall before they all shatter.
I think this could be a bit lower.
Try to
Go to read and clear it.
try to recall before they all shatter.
I think this all could be a bit lower.
Before they all shatter.
Go to read and clear it. Let's hear it all one more time.
I remember her in songs, decades old, but it doesn't matter. Stumble across some memories, try to recall before they all shatter.
It's not perfect, but I think you get the idea. How we could spot section by section by zooming in, creating time selections for each section, switching it to write mode, and writing them.
Go
Go to read mode and clear them, then hear them back and keep tweaking them along the way.
decades old, but it doesn't matter.
And of course, this could be used with any source, not just vocals. I love using this to write the volumes of toms, guitar parts, and solos, and anything where the volume changes drastically and we want it to fit into our mix. So that's pretty much it. That's spot right automation in Reaper. I hope you learned something, hope you could use it, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.
Bingo, boys, let's go.